We are live, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll have people hopping in here. We have Paul from Omni Drip with us. My friend Jason implemented Omni Drip, and he said within the first month they closed 4 extra deals. And
I didn't
so
even
when
know
I decided, yeah,
that.
like he was like, bro, we implemented it. It's been a game changer. I don't even know what we did. We got 4 extra deals from it. And so I called you as soon as I hit our because I'm in a group chat with Dean and Jason. I was like, I need to get in contact with the Omni Drip guy. I need him for this challenge because I knew they both used Resimply. I was like, I need him for this challenge so we can get this going. Because with the amount of lead flow we'll be getting, our lead flow today, it'll probably be at like 20 leads, but like 20 leads a day. That's so many leads to stay in contact with. If you can have drips in place, it's going to be an absolute game changer.
Yeah, and you definitely it becomes a chasing game after at one point. When you have that many leads, you're just constantly
Yep.
chasing. And I'm a big believer that in sales, once and sorry, do you have a lot of? Do you hear that all the noise coming through, or is that?
I do hear your kids, but it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. We all got
Yeah.
kids, bro.
I thought my dungeon here would be soundproof, but I guess not. Anyway, so yeah, I'm a big believer in sales. Sales closes the deal, but there's a point where you don't want sales to chase, and so that's where marketing comes into place. Because chasing leads that just aren't responsive, it's a tiring game, and you have to rely on your own consistency, which doesn't work. Relying on your own consistency. I don't do my own follow up. Meaning I don't go out and remind myself I got to hit up this person. I got to hit up this person, because it never
Exactly.
falls. So yeah, man, we can dive into these drips that we put into place so far, and that's the first time I'm hearing about Jason closing the 4. So I'm really excited about that. So.
Where did you come up with the idea for Drip though?
So my background is a copywriter. I was a wholesaler as well. I did a lot of land flipping, and it wasn't more so I came up with the idea. It was that I did a lot of work as a copywriter for doing drips outside of real estate, doing these automations. These e-commerce calls it like abandoned cart automations and things like that.
Yep.
And so it's all the idea of when something happens, there's certain copy and automations so for example, a seller, the simple one, a seller tells you your offer is too low. That's something I can leverage, things I can say, rather than chasing them. Hey, what do you think of our new offer? What do you think of this and this and that? Are you still interested in selling over and over again? Which is just, it comes across as your needy type of attitude. Nobody likes that. That just pushes people away. Yep. Instead, I can start leveraging things in copy. I don't want to get into like the minutia of the tactics of copy, but start leveraging some value, start leveraging what we actually offer. Assuming they're shopping around, talking about all the, we do like consumer reporting type of copy and tactics. But yeah, that's kind of the idea that came by. I started, other wholesalers started to come up to me. Hey, I'm looking for some drip sequence. I started seeing that as a constant, a constant need. So I decided, well, instead of just, let me just hammer away a formula to know how to do this the best way. I put that together. It's been improving. It's constantly improving. Drip sequences aren't really one of those things where you kind of set it and forget it. Meaning like if you're using a drip sequence that are maybe 5 years old, you might want to look into redoing and looking into those. You might be saying some incorrect things. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, it's been a good business for us. A big need for constant follow up, because at the end of the day, it's not about the constant follow up. It's about small. You're only going to convert a small portion of your leads that are coming in today. Maybe 5%, maybe 10% if you're doing really well. There's a large percentage that, a lot of people just push away and say, oh, they're not motivated. It's not true. They're just not revealing their motivation, or they're just not ready yet. And that happened. That's for the majority of the leads are going to come through. They're just not ready yet. They might be ready in 3 months, 6 months. And you can do one of two things. One of three things. You can forget about them and just let them sell it to somebody else. Two, you can rely on the manual follow-up of setting the tasks. They tell you, hey, yeah, I think I want to sell in 3 months from now. So you set that reminder in 3 months and you ask them, hey, are you interested in selling? And you find out, well, for one, they don't even know the hell you are anymore. And then two, they end up selling with somebody else. So I help fill the gap in between. Go ahead and set that manual reminder. But what happens in between that communication between? And you can do like valuable branded type of messaging that lifts you up as a person, as an investor, as the buyer, lifts up your brand, lifts up your credibility, all in between until they actually are ready. So
I love it. All right, let's dive into the account. And guys, my biggest frustration with the challenge so far is that our 10 DLC isn't set up because, like Paul said, the majority of the leads, we're not going to convert them right away. And so putting them on the right drip is a must.
So let me go ahead and share that screen here. 10 DLC, definitely you need to get that set up. It takes a little bit of time. So this relies on 10 DLC. It relies on, meaning like you're sending out auto text. So that needs to be approved, right? So you're looking at this is Strat's account right here. So these are everything that says OD. So we initial it as OD so people know. And so everything that says OD is ours that we put into place. And by the way, everything is semi-custom, meaning I don't remember your profile, how you answer. I think I answered your form for you. So everybody who comes in as a client, they answer a form, a Google form. And then if all that noise, Strat, is bothering you.
No, bro, you're good. You're good. My son will be home in an hour. And then he's playing with his Batman toys loud as hell. So don't even.
It was just like bad timing. They just started playing now in the room next door. So so all these sequences basically follows a funnel, or a pipeline is a better analogy. So as soon as the seller hits your CRM, like when I say seller, then let's just say lead for now. And when I mean lead, I mean somebody who they fill out a form, you bought them from a PPL provider like LeadZolo, whatever it is. They said, yes, I'm interested. It could be cold calling, right? Or it could be cold texting if you're still doing that. You see some kind of interest that they want your offer. You move them over to Resimpli CRM, and then something happens where they stop responding, they ghost you. Well, there's a place every time something like that happens. There's a place for them. So you get them. So let's start with this one. I'm not going to go through every single one because there's 20 different sequences. But if you get a missed call and you can't reach them again, you can keep chasing, or you just put them into this missed call sequence that's just going to do the follow up for you. Now there are. Let me open this one up. So there's text messaging. There's some. This one doesn't have any emails because you don't have an email address for a missed call. But let me scroll down to some things here that's relevant. So task. So it's not 100% automated, meaning like I am going to send out a task for the team. Because I believe in multi touches, meaning we're sending out emails, text message. We're sending out a task or call with a voicemail script attached to it. Let me scroll down here to see the actual task. So here's the actual task. This is what it says. So that your lead manager will get a task that says, hey, follow up task, call, then text lead. They open up the instructions and it'll give you a script on what to say. Hey, this is John at Easy Fast Home Buyer. We've been trying to reach you about your missed call to us. Are you selling a property? And then after that, I give you instructions to manually text the lead, where your lead manager can copy and paste this over, and it usually ties in with the voicemail script. So I'm getting a little too technical here, but that's 3 touches for your seller. I'm all about repping touches. What are you gonna say?
No, I said hell yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm all about repping touches because now they get a missed call. Lead gets a missed call notification from you. They get a voicemail notification if they have that. I know I don't have that. So anybody tries to leave a voicemail, I don't see that. But that's okay for because you're going to leave a manual text afterwards. So that's just the task. So there's auto text being sent out. There's auto emails being sent out. Obviously, there's some tasks here that ask you to leave a personal loan video. So I don't think I have it in here. I may have it in here, but it might say here, hey, leave a leave a Loom video. And then I'll give instructions here on what to say and how to do it. Because it's just another way, it's just a different way to follow up. Because it's not, we focus, I see with the problem I see with a lot of drip sequences with investors is they just have this inbox communication, which is text messaging going out saying the same thing. I'm trying to grab every single tool and wrench to get a response from them. So sending out a Loom video to them, a personal Loom video, is really easy to do. I show, you haven't seen the videos yet, but I show you and your team how to do it. And we haven't gone on a support call yet, but we'll, every time we have a client, we plug everything in just like that. I get on a call with your entire team so we can do some live lead dropping. We can't do any on here because, we're going to be showing, that means we'll be showing like actual live lead data. So that's like a no-go with YouTube. But so anyway, we every support call we do some live lead dropping and show you how it actually works. So,
bro, so let's go over the 29 sequences. Like, just go over, skim them real quick.
Yeah, it'd be best to just show you the form actually instead of, because it'll.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easier to read if I show you the cheat sheet. And we installed that, so it's hundreds of messages, so it's not like like we handed it to you and then you have to figure out how to input it.
Because like I think the hardest part when you get into wholesaling and you fill up a CRM is the follow-up, because it's so boring. And like you're not actively closing deals. And so having this in place that automates the majority of it is what's going to be killer for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have, let me just scroll down to show the amount that's on here. So there's about 24 that I think there's 24 in your system right now. But it follows the pipeline. So what I mean by that is there's pre-offer sequences, meaning they haven't gotten an offer yet. There's a place for them. So, so they haven't, for whatever reason, they haven't gotten an appointment yet with you to be given an offer. We send them, you put them in here, and I break it down vacant, landlord, owner, occupant, because I can really leverage the copy and messaging with those three. So if you know, if you do know it's a vacant house, you drop them into here. If you don't know, if you don't know if it's a landlord or vacant house, you just drop them into this one, this default owner, occupant. We have the missed appointment, which is like, it's a common break in the appointment in the pipeline. If you're doing a lot of phone sales, drop them in there, right? It's an obvious no-brainer, low hanging fruit sequence to plug in. Foreclosure, probate, these are long-term. These are I used to door knock probate leads a lot, so I know you're walking kind of you got to walk carefully with them. So this sequence walks carefully with them. I mean, there's probably, I think, 5 different articles in this one. So we actually plug in articles and it's value-driven articles to drive them back to your website. I'm trying to build your credibility and your branding by driving them back to your website, get that brand awareness, get them to see that your offer, your easy, your URL, your website over and over again. So after an offer is made, we have sequences for that. The seller tells you that they're going to hold off for whatever reason. You have a place to put them. They sign with a different person, right? Different wholesaler that had to hire a different offer. That's a really easy, low hanging fruit for you to plug a person in, because at the end of the day, there's going to be a good percentage of wholesalers that aren't going to follow through with this. It's going to fall through the cracks and deal ain't going to happen. So I want to show up there with in between that closing, or when deal falls out, I want to show up with some value there, right? Objection, they tell you that they're going to fix the house themselves. There's a place for that. I can leverage that as a copywriter. Offer too low, another objection, I can leverage that and we plug them into there. If you send them to a contract, if you send a contract to sign and they ghost you, which does happen, there's a place for them here, right? So I'm leveraging the call to action, getting them I'm doing every tactic here to get them to respond back. Even if it's a no, I want to know. Maybes I hate maybes. Yes and no. Yes or no is much better option, or no is a much better option than maybe. So I just want to get a response back. So I'm using every tactic in the book to try to get that response back. signed with a signed contract. So this is more of a customer service. So your title company should be, keeping your keeping that seller up to date, right, on what's going on. But I don't. This is more of a process than marketing automation. But it's more of
Yeah.
like, hey, add that extra layer so that you have a transactional coordinator, if you have one, that is making sure that they're also updating, right? So they're staying on top. It's a customer service type of sequence, right? And then I want to collect after you close a deal and you collect that check. I also want to collect reviews, and I want to collect referrals, because reviews is going to be a huge part of getting deals to convert, or sellers to convert over to you and trust you. At the end of the day, there's a large percent of sellers that they will take a smaller offer if they think the other person's a sleazeball or something.
Yep.
So I do want to build a social proof with so constantly like making a machine, a process for getting video reviews, getting Google reviews, whatever you're using. We plug that in, and then 6 months later, asking them if they know anybody else that's selling. I mean, it's like do you want fries with that question, right? It's just a no-brainer. Just to ask. It takes no extra work, and you just ask them, do you know anybody else that's selling? They may, after 50 deals, they may have one person, and you got yourself a $20,000 deal just from having a simple automation. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. We try to make sure every rock is we cover every single unturned rock. So yeah, that's kind of it.
How long do the drips go for?
So each one's different, man. So like this form filled Digistopper one, this is our most aggressive one. This is somebody who, you bought a lead from LeadZillow, and this person just became unresponsive for whatever reason. And so you plug them into here. I am hitting them up. There's I think 7 steps in this one. Let me open that one up.
See that.
Yeah, there's 7 steps in that one. So I don't know if we plugged in direct mail yet with you. Do you know if we?
No, we need to. That's our last step with I forgot his name.
Andy over at Print Genie.
Detweiler. Right? Yeah, Andy
Yeah.
Detweiler at Print Genie.
So this is maybe a bad, because it's kind of hard to see this. It's really hard to see this, but well, let's go step by step then. So the first text message that go out, it's more of a thank you message. This is a longer than usual text messaging. Typically text message copy, I'm shortening everything. I'm removing things that don't need to be there, but this is longer. This is longer than should be. And there's a reason and purpose, a copywriting purpose for it. Then we hit them up with a different one right afterwards. So we want to get their, we want to get them to, book a calendar link call with you. So I'm a big believer in getting the reply back too. But so that's what I've gotten that rejection. It's like, well, why don't we just have them text back? I'd rather get on the phone with them right then and there. That's true. I'd rather get on the phone with them right then and there. But there's other people that aren't ready to get on the phone right then and there, and rather just book a call for tomorrow in 3 days, and that's fine. I'm moving them down the pipeline now. I'm getting them to engage in a different way, and that's okay. You can still call them in between that appointment to try to get that appointment sooner, speed of lead. But I'm at least moving them down my pipeline, engaging with them a little more at a deeper level. So I put that calendar link in there for you guys, so that it does, it's another option. 30% of sellers, especially when they go to that form, are going to fill out that book linked calendar.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I can't, it's hard to see this, but I
can see it pretty good.
Okay. We have, it's kind of hard to see the numbering. Let me give you the actual, a better view of this here.
Okay.
I'm going to pull up somebody else's sheet here.
How would the message look like for requesting a review / testimonial?
Yeah, it's going to be really simple. It's at bare minimum, I really want people to I want people to do a video. I want my clients to ask for a video, without any automation in place. Bare minimum, I want you guys to when you're on the phone with them, or if you're face-to-face is the best way to do it, because it's going to be easier if they sign that contract, that's the first step. If they sign that contract with you, getting a video testimonial from them, or if they get that check, if they actually do get a physical check at the escrow office, then you're with them and you're collecting that video review. Bare minimum, you want to do that as part of your process. But then we also hook them up into that drip sequence, which is just going to simply ask them a few times, hey, we can look at one. We should probably look at one. But let me show you, before shifting gears, let me show you the Digistopper one so that you can, yeah. So if I scroll down right here, this is an example one, and everybody can, if anybody reaches out, they can get this example from me. So first day, I just want to show you the very first day. It shows here 9 steps right here on the first day. So everybody's I have different variations in messaging, so everybody's a little different, but so it's very conversational. People think that's a lot of follow-up. It's a lot of auto text and messages, but it's all conversational, because right after I send the introduction message, I'll send out, hey, let's get on book a cash offer appointment with us here. I don't use the word offer anymore, or cash often anymore, by the way. We've removed that just to increase deliverability, right? So
yep.
Yeah. So, or if you don't have a counter link, we substitute out for something else. There's a task to call with a voicemail script. There's a thank you card that gets sent down. Big believer in this. With Print Genie, when a seller goes through here, it's going to automatically send one of our greeting cards out to them. It's going to basically say, hey, thanks for filling out our form. Now, even if people object to this, like, well, what happens if, right after you send the card out, that I actually, get on an appointment with them? Isn't that wasting money? Is this too early on? And in my opinion, it's not, because imagine you're a seller, you fill out a form, and then maybe 3 days later, you're going on an appointment, and 5 days later, you get a thank you card, and you still haven't said yes to the offer. Well, that just like elevated your credibility, right? You got a thank you card, greeting card for filling out a form, right? Nobody is doing that. Nobody is doing a direct mail piece with a thank you for filling out a form. Thanks for getting on an appointment with us. So I know for me personally, I do a lot of this type of direct mail where it's follow up. That's had a huge impact for my businesses. So
what do the people say when they call you? They call you like, hey, I got your thank you card? That's really classy.
That's exactly what, that basically, in those words, it's really classy. Nobody's doing this. So, yeah. Trucking along through here, it's the different text messages that, hey, I've sent you, I want to get them. So here's another one. Hey, I've sent you an email about your cash offer. Can you let me know if you received it? I just want to, there's a concept to this of having them be in multiple mediums. So what I mean by that is I am trying to force them to go to our website, go to their inbox, use multiple ways to see us. So it creates an omnipresence, right? So yep. Even if they don't respond to this, it doesn't matter. I don't care if they went back to the inbox and actually looked at the email and actually read it, because the email that gets sent out here is more of like an introduction email. It's more about this. It might not be this one. It might be, because we have different forms of it. This might be outdated. Might not be what we use anymore. But it talks. This is a long form email. It's not a short form email. We have short form emails. We have a combo of all types of different emails. But it's really introducing the company involved. So that's, in day one, that's the second day. But in day one, we've gotten so far 9 different steps just on the Digistopper. So
it's so dope. I think it's so dope, so strong.
So what was there was another, I was going to go on a tangent on about different, a different question. Oh, how would a message look requesting a review? So Jose, I'm looking at the comments now. It's really simple. There's nothing like, we say it in different ways. And let me pull one up inside of your account here.
And if you guys are in here watching, leave a comment. If you're watching afterwards, leave a comment and we will get back to you on one of the lives, and we'll just answer your questions.
So let's go back to the settings here and open up the drip campaigns. Let's see if you have it, because I know we went on a rush getting your stuff in. So let's see if it's in here. We're still working on putting some stuff in here. Okay, so so this one right here. So deal close, testimonial request. So in this case, and everybody's a little different. We don't have like set templates that everybody gets just because of deliverability. I'm really conscious about that.
Yeah.
If 500 people are sending the same thing, it's likely, Gmail sees all this stuff. It's not like they're, they have these complicated, and the carriers too, complicated algorithms that can see all this stuff. So if they can sense that, hey, this is just the same kind of spam, they'll call it, this is a spam canned message. So I'm very conscious about that happening with our clients. So so in this case, that's the task. Let me show the text message here. It's a lot of task oriented because I want you to actually get on the phone with them if you haven't gotten an actual recording from them. But in this case, it's really simple. In this case, just checking in about the postcard I sent recently to make its way to you. Let me know. So trying to get a call back because we sent a postcard requesting a review. I want to get, sorry, Jose, I want to answer your question about the actual message requesting review. Oh, this is a referral. So it doesn't look like we have it for you yet, because did you give us like your Google review link or anything like that?
No, when I was on my phone, I was writing a message to myself that we need to set up our Google My Business.
Okay, so we haven't set it. If you use Facebook or if you use some other way to collect reviews, we use that. So we don't have that right now because we don't have your link yet. So in other cases, we just be asking it for manually. In this case, this is a referral. This is asking for a referral right here. So that's one way we ask for referral. There's multiple different ways we ask for referral, but yeah, I hope that answered Jose's question there. So. And by the way, a little tactic, whenever you guys are building these things out, do hit that edit campaign, or else you lose all the, it's kind of a resimply, not a glitch or error, but like it's been annoying where if you load up 20 different sequences and you leave, everything is gone. So,
oh man.
So
how many touch points with Omni Drip does it usually take to convert, do you think?
Yeah, that's a good question. That we've seen 70 touches. We've seen that as low as 30. Jason, I remember the first time I think he plugged us in within a week, I think, or 2 weeks. They had a deal in their contract, and that was really quick. That was maybe a handful of touches, and that was it. So I've seen 70. I've seen 180 touches. So the point of it, though, it's not. The point of it is that it's not so much the copy that really, like, you can't say anything to somebody to change them from motivated to unmotivated to motivated. There's nothing I can do. Like, there's no copywriter on earth that's going to do that. There are some I have seen. Because we jump into people's activities and activity board, and we look at like what the deals that converted. What did the sellers say, just so we can improve our system and see what's working best. I have seen sellers where they respond to. I don't remember the exact wording, but they'll say things like, "Oh yeah, all right, fine, I'm ready to go." Meaning, like, I don't remember the exact wording, but they've been dragging their feet the whole time. They're motivated, but they're just lazy. And they just didn't want to. They were just too lazy to get off their butt and take the next action. So whatever it was in the messaging moved them to finally say, "All right, let's just get this started with and get it over with." But that's minority. That's a small portion. Most of the people, they're gonna convert when they convert. There's nothing we can say or do. So why do a drip sequence? Why do drip sequences? Is because you want to eliminate luck. You want to eliminate landing at the right place at the right time.
Yep.
You want to consistently show up to build that credibility so that when they are ready, they know of your name. They know that website they visited 3 or 4 times by now. And they consistently see the benefits that you bring, because we're sending text messages that are benefit focused. They're talking about the seller, right? Anytime we focus on us, we move the arrow to us, it loses people. So,
what do you get a lot of responses on email? Because I started off cold calling, and we collect emails for clients, but clients would never use the email.
right.
And so, like, what's the response rate like with those emails? And then how does it work? Is it going out of my Gmail, or does Re simply operate like GHL and they have like their own deliverability?
To answer your second question, I don't know how I don't know how Resimply does it, but I think they do it. I don't think I don't know how they do it. Bottom line. But to answer your question, the response rate is low. And I'm going to tell you, here's the thing though. It's not, most people are going to respond via text or calling over email. That's just general. That doesn't mean that you stop using email. I think it's just now if you start removing all these easy mediums to use, you decrease your touches. So to me, okay, we jump into people's deal board and we look at that, what does seller respond to? And we'll see often we'll see them responding out of the blue and with a text message or a calling back. And maybe 2 days before that, what was the last message? Was an email. That we do see that. So what does that mean? It means that just because they're not responding or replying back doesn't mean that the email is doing its job, right? Yeah. Even if they don't open it, even if they don't open it and they see your name pop in there, they see the subject line. It's a reminder of who you are and what you do. There's a bunch of people on my inbox I don't open right now, though I like them and I'm interested in them. They keep showing up. All it does is just improve that relationship. Even if I don't, it's kind of funny how it works. It improves that relationship, even though we don't even open it sometimes. So email still does its job, even if you don't get a reply back directly from it. So,
oh yeah. And I feel like an email isn't a must respond to, because you get so many emails in a day. You just open it and you're like, cool. And then it's just on to the next, but you still think about them, because I've been pulled back into something from an email.
Yeah. This is getting into the whole science of like, which email, which text message, which medium did its job. And it's called attribution, but it's where we don't know, when you're doing so many different things, you don't know at the end of the day, what is it that actually pulled the person, converted the person, right? You don't know if it was the email they saw 3 days ago, if the mailer they put down but their kids were crying in the background, so they left it. And then you called them, you got a missed call, and then email, and they said, oh yeah, let me call back the number from the mailer, right? You don't know what is it that actually pulled that conversion when you're doing this stuff in this day and age. So
what have the response rates been like with those Loom videos? Like, does everyone just get a great response? Because I feel like that is very different.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to track. It's not, Resimply isn't my software, so I don't and to keep track of what everybody's deals are and how they respond to it, it's kind of hard. I mean, people have told me just generic, like, hey, I get response from it. People love the idea of it. They love how it's different, things like that. I can't tell you if you get again, going back to the thing, going back to what I said just a minute ago. We're always searching for that direct response. I'm a direct response marketer, copywriter, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to wrap the touches and the branding so that when they are ready, they're ready. So the Loom video, I don't, people send me stuff like that, not often, but do I respond right away to it? Not really. But I mean, it still lifted the guy's presence in my mind. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if that doesn't really answer your question. I don't really.
No, that helps out a lot, because it's like I like the differentiation of it, just like the thank you letter. It's just different. Some random Joe Schmo isn't sending a fucking Loom video.
Right. I mean, I do it with my own business with Omni Drip. So every time somebody buys, I set a day aside and I get notifications just like you'd be getting. I get notifications. I drag them over to a folder and I And I mark out a day on the weekend. It's like, I'm doing all my Loom video responses on this day. And I just pull it out on my phone. I go on a walk. It's really easy to do. It's all on, and I don't know if this, I hate using the word, but if you call it a ninja tactic for following up with anybody, really it's a really simple way. I mean, it's a text message, but in video format, and then, so I go out on a walk and I pull out my phone, pull out the app, quickly do a 2-minute video, not even that. Send it off in an email and a text message. It takes less than 5 minutes to do, but it has huge impact at the end of the day. So,
and it's emailed and texted.
That's what I recommend. So if you have both their numbers, like you'd have to do it, right? Like you'd have to, and if you have everyone wants to, well, I get a lot of people who want to scale it. Like, well, can I make a generic video? Can I? And somebody showed me like some AI video, and they're out there.
They suck, bro. I've seen the AI videos. They're terrible. I tried making some.
Yeah, and tech might get better. Who knows? But it'll probably get better where then you can make one video for everybody. And my opinion on automation on that, man, is do the manual first and then automate. Like a lot of people don't need an automation like that yet. They don't have a lot of people want ringless voicemails, and I always I don't recommend that all for a lot of reasons. I mean, one is there's legal problems with state per state, but then there's also like you're really narrowing down who's going to listen to your message, right? And so for example, I don't have voicemail set up on my phone purposely, and so a lot of people don't have that. So then if you just stick with voicemail, you've just cut out whatever it is, 30-40% of the population that's going to listen to your message, right? You put all the work in creating the voicemail, the file, you put all the work in creating drip sequences, and then it's not even getting through because you're just using one medium, right? So I like to use a multitude of different stuff. So so I'd rather have somebody actually physically call, leave a voicemail script because they might and manually text them for those type of manual follow-up tasks. So yeah, I kind of went on a tangent there, but the issue here is people want to automate and scale. This is automated, of course. There is this part of the marketing process is automated, but the minutia stuff of leaving videos and leaving voicemail, that stuff, highly recommend doing it yourself, right? Getting a feel for it.
Or you want to do the stuff that doesn't scale, that actually feels personal. Like I send out on everyone's birthday, I'll either FaceTime them or send them a personalized video telling them happy birthday of like the people in my circle. Like it means so much more if it is personalized and you just do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And people can see it too. I mean, the AI, I've seen those AI videos. I've seen those where you record one video and then the tool, like you put in the person's name and then the video will like replace the name with that person's name. Right. I've seen it. They're kind of clunky, kind of glitchy, you can tell, and consumers are getting pretty aware of it. I mean, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I can also see the AI, the ChatGPT subject lines that come through. I could read them from a mile.
People suck. Like they don't use it right.
No,
subject lines are terrible.
I mean, not just subject lines, but everything else that you can see it. And, it uses the same. ChatGPT has its own voicing, and
its vocabulary is a vocabulary that everybody else doesn't use. Like it writes in a very specific way.
Right. It's its own voice, and people don't realize that. And so, you ask it. I did this the other day, which is funny. There's a mentor I follow. He's his name is Ben Settle, and he's an email copywriter. He's in the copywriting world. If you're in it, you know who he is. And so it's funny because he's known. So his content is online. So ChatGPT can pull that content up really easily. So I ask it to send me a Ben Settle style marketing email doing this, and that. I prompted it and all that. Mm-hmm. And it got back with a subject line that had emojis saying "unlock the secrets of copywriting" or something generic. And he does not use emojis one bit. He doesn't even use images at all. And it's far removed from. I even asked it to write it in a certain voicing, and it still missed the mark. Now, does that mean that doesn't work? And It does work if you just in some way. You won't get it perfect, far from perfect, but you know, if you really work it and prompt it and really massage it. I use it for a lot of SEO articles, but it takes me 20 minutes to do. It's not a one-click solution. People think it's a one-click solution. It's not. I use it for articles because it cuts my writing time from 2 hours to 20 minutes to write the same kind of article. So, but it's not perfect. It's not. You can tell it's not human written. You can't tell with it, even though I work into it and I use a certain example for a voicing and all that. So,
I took some Stephen Georgie courses. I think that's who it is.
Stefan George, is it Stefan?
Yeah,
I don't know. It is pronounced. I'm terrible with names. Yeah, I know he is. Yeah, direct response worker, does a lot of cold copy, and yeah.
I took some of his copy email stuff.
Yeah, and he's moved over into using AI. Yeah.
This was before AI, because like at a point in time I went down a whole copy rabbit hole. Like I was like, I need to get so good at copy because I was building out this huge funnel. I was like, I'm not fucking doing this, bro. Like, because you guys are dedicated to where we were doing an automatic clients funnel for something, and it's like it is several scrolls of a funnel, and writing that much copy is mind numbing. Like you guys are a different breed.
Yeah, I mean, I get, every, copy is this umbrella term that, what does that even mean? Even with that, you have all kinds of, even Stefan or Steven, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but he's his own, classification. He's like, he gets paid, from what I understand. I don't know in person.
Insane money, right?
He gets paid an insane amount of money for writing, and yeah, he brings a lot of value. So what he does is he'll take a business, a supplement business who's already doing millions, and then they have some kind of new, I don't know, maybe George Foreman or something is promoting it, and then he'll find something and create a new VSL, a video sales letter. You create something new that brings in an extra $1 million. So it's highly valuable what he does. And but I think he's shifted over to like becoming a copywriting guru, teaching people how to use AI for it.
Okay.
I think he's shifted over to that. So again, but that's cold. My expertise in copy, I would say, is not in the lead generation. It's not getting somebody who's cold and who doesn't know you from Adam and getting interest and getting them to convert over. That's a specialty. It's a specific type of copy. It's different than how I would write for follow-up marketing. What kind of drip sequences, what kind of automation, what kind of tactics do I use for getting to somebody to respond later down the road? So that's what I've specialized in, especially email. Email has been my bread and butter, and that's email copywriting is a whole different avenue.
Yeah. With Omni Drip, if a lead comes in, do you have a drip set up just for one to go out immediately to that person, or do we set that up?
So you can use, it depends on how you want to do it. So we can set up the Digistop and the form filled one to go automatically. And I built it that way.
That's what I would want.
Yeah. It's just a matter of, we'll work with, I don't know if Leadzilla, it depends on the automation with Resimply and whoever you're getting that form. If it's a carrot form or whatever, we got to make sure.
I could do the Zap, right? All I need to do is go to the Zap and then just move it.
Yeah, if Resimply has that, I'd never even looked. It's been a while, but if Resimply has that now, where they can, you can do that.
Yeah, because I have a Zap set up, and then I have to connect certain phone numbers to it, and then so I'm sure I could go. Is there a place? There's a place in there where you select what drip it's on, and then I could just do that, and then every lead that comes in gets put on that drip.
On the Zap, it'll have a drop down.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If they have that, perfect. We'll set that up. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. That makes my life really easy. Yeah. I'm super. And again, you guys were the first person I called was David Olds, because they're a transaction coordination company, and I knew how many transactions I had to go towards. And then I hounded Dean and Jason for your phone number, and then obviously Leadzilla.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dean or Dean's not a client yet. He said he would. He said he was like at some events, so he wanted to jump in too. So
hit him up. Hit him up.
Okay. At least probably, I don't know if he's listening, but yeah, Dean, we gotta chat again. But Yeah, man. So we got into a lot of mechanics of it. I know that at the end of the day, it's if you're converting, it's all about the revenue. And if this, for Jason, I brought in 4 in one month, which is amazing. I love hearing that stuff. I have clients that they mentioned 100x their business. I don't know if that's exaggeration, but even if it's like 20x your business, even if it's 10x your business, man,
Right.
one extra deal a year from from just a simple automation, you don't do any work, so you can stop chasing people. At the end of the day, we want to stop working so hard and increase our revenue, right? That's what we all want at the end of the day. So this is just one way to doing it. It's not going to solve world hunger. It's not going to solve your money issues. But sorry, guys. But at the end of the day, if it keeps you from constantly, chasing leads, not knowing what to do with the lead management because you have so many leads and don't know who's who anymore. Don't know what to say with this person. You have. I've seen this. You have 150 templates saved, so like, okay, if he says this, I'm, or if it's this type of seller, I choose this one, and you have to filter through 150 different email templates and text messages just to follow up. Avoid all that work. Avoid being tied to your desk. Doing follow up when you can be out actually talking with sellers. The sellers that need to sell right now. Those are the ones you should be focusing on, and the ones that just aren't interested, don't chase them. That's the marketing department. Let the marketing department handle this, and this is part of it. This is part of your marketing department right here. So,
and then what was the last thing? It's the ultimate leverage, and I try and talk about this a lot. You need to find just points in your business where you can pull a lever and it gives you exponential returns without having to do any work. To me, this is one of those things.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, this isn't anything new, by the way. Like you go to if you own an e-commerce business, you're going to come across what I've done in their world.
Yeah,
they have their own gaps that they fill, and they add another million of revenue. I'm not saying that's going to be for a real estate investor, but they might add another million of revenue just from adding a little automation when somebody goes to the store, leaves their their teeth whitening thing in the cart, go somewhere else and convert that lead later down the road. But anyway, point at getting it. Yeah, this is one of those levers that you pull. Definitely need to have it to optimize your business, right? So, yeah. Definitely.
Did you ever use the text message company called Via?
No, I haven't. Never heard of them. No.
They were huge, and then they went down last year. They had like a $500-600 million valuation, and they poof.
Why is that?
I think it was my friend was one of the co-founders, and he got essentially like hostily taken over by the board and got ousted. And then there was one more co-founder, and it just slowly went down, and they raised too much money. And I don't know, it was fascinating, but they were all drip sequence for e-commerce companies. Drip sequence text messages for e-commerce companies.
Okay. Well, Asan asked, how much is it? Asan, we can jump on a call, go over that. But I mean, with one deal, I mean, you pretty much pay for it like 3 times, 10 times over, but depending on your deal. But yeah, if anybody wants to book a call, just go to REI omnidrip.com. You'll get samples there. You can get a book call with me. We can go over your system, what you got, if I can improve it or not. I'm honest, and I was with somebody who like already had a lot of stuff dialed in. Not my copy. I would say my copy's better, but but they already had, they had follow-up in place. They had really good, solid follow-up. What I mean is like they had it pretty really complicated. But if you need help in that world, I'll definitely suggest what we have and our different sequences there. So,
last thing, it works with Go High Level, right? It works with everything?
Any CRM that can do the automation, right? So can send out text messaging, right? So Go High Level is one of them. Yeah. But the one that I have seen, I'm going to drop their name here, that maybe just so they can. And I'm very unfamiliar with the CRM. I don't know how it works, but Salesforce is one where I've had a client, and it was just like they didn't have like simple drip. I mean, it's probably, look, I'm not.
Salesforce is too complex, bro. Like there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, they seem like, okay. I hear about a lot of good things, in some terms of dialers and calling settings, but that's not my world. I don't know anything about that. When it comes to drip sequence, that's my world. That's what I do know, and I can jump into somebody's CRM and know exactly if this is garbage or not. But I couldn't send out a simple task or reminder or notification, right? Which is like a basic level like requirement for automation. Send an email notification or text notification, whatever you want to call it. Simple thing is send something to Strat, letting them know, do this, right? Whatever it is. And so they didn't have that. And it's like, and then we're waiting like a month for them to actually put it in. It was really difficult to work in. So that's one I did draw, I name drop them, but they should improve that part, right? Yeah, but pretty much everything out there we've worked in, not pretty much everything, but a lot of things we worked within the investor world we've worked in.
All right. Random question that you don't have to answer. I know you got to go. Have you thought about using all of your drips as training material for an AI bot and then just selling the bot?
That's a really funny question. Yeah. Yeah, that's in the bag of you need a lot. Here's what
Training material is what I could see being the issue.
What's
The
that?
training material is what I could see being the issue.
You need a lot of content for that. You need a lot of content, and which we do. We have a lot of content. I don't know if it's enough. And a lot more. Yeah, I have a lot of content. I mean, we're constantly updating, upgrading, things like that. So yeah, that's something in the bag. I don't know. I'm just not an AI expert that well to understand about training, how much you actually need. But funny, I kind of go, yeah, that's really interesting. Nobody's ever asked me that, but that's
really,
yeah, nobody's asked me that, and or even like brought up the idea of you should do this. But it might be something. It might be in the
I've
future.
thought about doing it because we owned a call center, and I went down this whole rabbit hole of uploading all of this calling data into an AI bot and then making a cold calling AI bot. And so that's where I get it from.
At the end of the day, it's just see, AI or chat, whatever you want to use. Gemini's now up and coming. It's if you instruct it to do something, and this is where everyone misses the mark when it comes to creating AI content, is that they just want a one-click solution, but there isn't a one-click solution right now. If you want decent stuff, I mean, and I know there are companies in real estate that I can see it. They're using just the one-click AI generated emails. I see it come through. I know other people see it come through, but anyway, there is no one-click solution. So the other solution is you have to be a really good prompter, but even I'm not very good at that.
Yeah.
Like I do it on a weekly basis, writing articles, but even then it's like, there are these little ninja tricks you can do for prompting to get what you want. And so then what's the other solution is training it. You just need a ton of, it's like that intern that comes in, you want to teach them copy, right? If you tell them, hey, intern, write me an email about this, and they're like, okay, and they start writing. So sure, they can pull from different, they can, and this is what chat does. It pulls from all the averages. It starts going online and Googling and the intern starts, okay, I think this is what you want. It's like way off the mark, right? But then you start training your intern, telling them, no, this is what you're looking for. This is how you write it. No, remove this word. And this word doesn't target the market very well. Anyway, we're going on a tangent here, but going into some technical stuff here. But yeah, man. If there's anything else, let me know. We got about a couple of minutes here, and then yeah. But
that's all I have. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. And then you can find out more about Paul and Omni Drip at reiomnidrip.com. And then we'll be showing off Omni Drip over this whole challenge. I guarantee you it's probably going to add at least 10 deals of us having to do no effort over the span of the 6 months with the amount of leads that are coming in and like just keeping them alive. And it's going to save me probably $10,000 to $50,000 in staff, if you think about it too, as far as hiring on leads managers and everything else, which will be amazing.
Yeah, definitely, man. We got to make sure that 10 DLC is dialed in, though. It's all buttoned up. So
it's coming. It's coming. Hopefully they get it done. I don't know. I had to set it up on my GHL last year, and it was a pain in my ass. So, but it'll get done. Thank you so much for coming on, my man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah, man. Take care.